Welcome to the MSP Corner podcast. Before we kick off our show, we would like to share what our main objective is at the MSP Corner. Our main goal is to help CEOs build profitable and self-sustainable IT service firms. We are not just providing tools for IT firms, we will be sitting in meetings with you to ensure your IT firm stays on track. The first area we are focused on, strategic sales. IT firms are stuck selling technology or IT support. We will provide you with the blueprint so you position your firm as an added value to your prospects. We will have framework on how to sell value so you influence the prospect into selecting your firm. The second area we see many IT firms struggle in is marketing. 90+% of businesses rely on antiquated marketing methods. The most popular choice, word of mouth. We have proven methods on how to attract the ideal prospect. Our framework will include how to become the online authority and be the business influencer for an industry. The third component to our package, scaling. IT firms walk away from opportunities because they lack the bandwidth or skill set to scale. We have lined up reputable businesses so our members can hire on-demand resources that will allow them to scale their business. The fourth area we will offer help in, selecting the right tools. In order to deliver value, you need the right tech stack. Our platform will offer information on products that are the ideal choice for MSPs. The fifth area we will offer help in is with documentation. Templates are a critical component when building an MSP. We will have contracts, proposals, SOWs, collateral, and much more in the template section. You will have every document you need to start up your managed IT service business. Thank you for tuning in. Let's go to our next podcast. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to our podcast. I am your host, Fernando Leon, and I am joined by my co-host, Gregory Moravietz. Today's topic, adding 5 figures of MRR, series 2 of 3. And we've discussed 3 models, the established firms, VARs, service providers, IT service, managed service providers that are established. Today, we're going to discuss topics for those that are starting out. So let's jump to that table of contents and go over what we plan to discuss. So where do you start, right? Because if you're just starting out, if you're going to build a company, where are you going to start? Today's model is going to be on starting out with a small, you're just starting out. This is really directed at firms that are one-man shows that are still managing their own clients' IT infrastructure and have very little help. Funnels? Are you going to generate more business? What do you say if you're going to make cold calls? Send an email, right? LinkedIn outreach. There's a number of things that we will discuss today. What can you upsell? So you have a specific skill set. What are you going to do when somebody asks you for a SOC, right? We'll come up with solutions so you're not leaving money on the table. We'll discuss why a CRM is so critical, why follow-up is going to help you close more business, and scaling. Right? There are solutions for small IT firms to scale on demand and at a pace that is comfortable for the business owner. So let's jump out to the first topic of where you start. Where are you in your journey, right? You're just starting out, and that's what we're going to focus on today, because a lot of firms out there are a lot of executives or IT administrators, they're tired and exhausted of working for other people, and they know they have the skill set to start their own business. So we're going to start off with that topic, and we're going to discuss how a full-time, even a part-time side hustle is going to be easy for you to start for starting up, right? You have several options to consider if you plan on building a pipe, because when you're a part-time, well, even a full-time employee, you're only going to have so much time to dedicate to your side hustle. So you're going to need to put mechanisms in place that will help get the word out for you to specific individuals. So let's jump to what you could do, right? Let's talk about cold calling. Well, if you're going to want to take that avenue, you're going to need a script, right? A script that is specific to an industry, because the pitch to a attorney's office, the CEO at an attorney's office is going to be very different to the CEO at a medical office or manufacturing, right? You're going to need a specific pitch that will capture their attention, that will keep them on the line for another 30 to 60 seconds. So consider a script before you even start calling. And we're going to provide these on the MSP Corner. We're going to have scripts that are going to be specific for specific industries. And we'll have webinars on just cold calling, right? So how you position yourself on getting that appointment, because that's what it's going to take. You're not going to be able to close somebody on a cold call. The objective on a cold call is to get an appointment, right? Get some face-to-face time or a Zoom call. All right. Another inexpensive way, and that you can start generating interest, is email. I know that email can be a great way to reach the masses, but you're going to run some risks, right? Because these email platforms have gotten very wise with spammers, and they're going to be looking at your open rate, your unsubscribed rate, your click rate. They're going to look at metrics that are going to determine this guy can continue to send emails, or they're going to suspend your campaign. So you have to be very careful with email. I want to be a very transparent when it comes to email, because there's some people out there that will sell you on, oh, let's get you a list, you can start generating new business. It's not that simple. If it was that simple, everybody would be doing it, everybody would be getting so much business, and it would be very easy to do. So be very careful before you buy a list. Take a very, I would say, a very cautious approach. LinkedIn. Let's talk about LinkedIn for a little bit. LinkedIn is a very unique platform that allows you to target a specific industry and a C or VP level executive. So this is another way of you to, let's say you wanted to send out 20, 30 messages a week or a day. That is possible. I believe LinkedIn is also tracking how many messages you send out. How many people are saying, I don't know this person, right? How many people are opening your message? I'm sure that they're tracking these metrics, so they don't want their community to be spammed also. So be very careful on LinkedIn. You can have a free account and reach out to specific executives in your area, right? Because you want to target specific industries that you know very well. You know their applications, you know all the SaaS products that they have to implement, and by you reaching out to executives, you can come up with some messaging that captures their attention because you know their industry so well. And this is something that we're going to provide also, is LinkedIn messaging that will allow you to just copy and paste our messaging for a LinkedIn campaign. It'll be very simple, because If you're going to want to target an attorney's office, you want to create a specific message that will capture their attention. All right, another free resource for you to tap into are partners. And you're just starting out, so you're thinking, okay, who can be a partner? Well, a cabling company could be a partner. An electrical company can be your partner. Movers, integrators, they can be your partners, but keep something in mind that you have to be outgoing. You have to have a an energy about you that is doesn't overflow with cockiness or arrogance, but with confidence. You want to also sound credible because these people are going to have to trust you. They're going to have to refer you into business, and they're going to want to refer you into business. So you have to be likable. You have to have a great personality. You have to be outgoing. If you're going to go into if you're going to be looking for a partner and you're going to go in there shy and with your head down and not sound too confident, you're not going to have any type of partners. No one's going to want to refer you. So keep that in mind because people want to work with individuals or businesses that are trustworthy, that are credible, and you got to be smart. And obviously, if you're an IT administrator, you're very smart and you are knowledgeable of how to build and maintain complex infrastructure. So we'll just leave it at that. Speaking engagements. Our CEO of our MSSP does speaking engagements, and that's another way for you to network with other executives that are going to, let's say, a security engagement, a security conference, whatever. But if there are engagements that will allow you to go up and speak about, what's going on in the medical industry, what's going on in the legal industry, how can lawyers work more efficiently and productively with, remotely or whatever with certain SaaS products. Network groups is another way of building a strong partnership, right? Network groups, there's you can go to the where is that place, Gregory, where it's Chamber of Commerce, right?
Yep, Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce is a great way for you to network with other businesses. And I do know this. I do know that one of our partners, which is a staffing agency, the CEO and I are great friends, and he is a Mexican American, and he goes to a lot of Mexican American Latino mixers, and he has done a phenomenal job building his business with his networking abilities. So consider that another free way of marketing yourself and getting out there and getting your name out there. Start building your brand. So, what do you say with all these partners and emails and all that? Well, this is all going to depend on who you're targeting. Are you pitching the CEO? Are you going to pitch the CFO or the VP of IT? So you got to always think about the message. You do not want to recycle the same message for other for different C-level executives or VP level executives because CFOs want to hear how you're going to save them money, right? CEOs want to hear how productive you're going to make them, how there's going to be less disruptions to their network. They don't want to hear about tech services. They don't want to hear about your skill set and certifications and any of that. They don't want that. They want to know, they want to hear a message of value. So always think about what you're going to say. Now, what industry do you want to target? That's also going to it's going to affect the script, your pitch, your email, your messaging, your headline, whatever, whoever you're going to target, whatever industry they're in, you have to think about the messaging. That is, you're not going to hit 1,000. No one hits 1,000, but you want to hit at least 300, right? You want to land 25 to 30% of opportunities you come across. Now, Here's a big one. What size is the firm you're targeting? So if you want to target a small business, it's going to be a lot easier to get in front of the CEO of the business. It's going to be a lot easier to get them on the phone, and more than likely, you'll meet a lot of these small business owners and mixers, right? Because they're out there also. They're at they're and I don't know if any of you have thought about joining a nonprofit, being on the board, providing IT consultations, or being the IT guru for a nonprofit, or being involved with the nonprofit. Go volunteer your time, right? Even volunteering to say, hey, I can come out and fix your computers once a month at no cost. That is going to give you more exposure to people that are connected, people that have money, people that have businesses. So keep that in mind. All right, next topic is area of expertise. You guys got to determine your wheelhouse, right? You have to determine, I just want to do all the heavy lifting. I just want to manage the infrastructure and pawn off the help desk. Or you want to do the help desk and be that first line of defense and rely on a group, an a partner, a white label partner to do the back end stuff, to do the 24/7 SOC, to do the deliver the proactive MSP model. And think about this, because this is impossible if you're a one-man show or if you're building a side hustle. Because if you land an opportunity and this client is approaches you and says, "Hey, Tom, you sound great. You sound like a credible and trustworthy individual. Can you help us? I know you can help us here in Texas, Dallas, Texas, but we have an office in Miami, Florida. Can you provide us with boots on the ground?" Obviously, you have to get the scope of work and determine, okay, this is IT related. It's not web design or app development. You will then say, of course, we can provide you with a, let's say, on-site procurement of hardware and on-site support for, there are people that prefer somebody to be on site. So think of a white label partner that can help you get the right people on site. So don't ever walk away from an opportunity because you feel like, oh, well, I don't have the bandwidth, or I don't have the contacts to get somebody in Miami. There's plenty of white label providers that can get you in touch with resources that will easily help you in that area. All right. If you're just starting out, I was going to talk about the CRM. If you're just starting out, an Excel spreadsheet is sufficient. But if you want to get in the habit of recording all your conversations, well, at least documenting your conversations and keeping accurate data on what XYZ corporation is doing and what they want to do in 6 months, and you have to call them back in 6 months. Remember that the follow-up is very critical. So many people, so many individuals forget about the follow-up. They just toss the opportunity aside because the individual or the business owner said no, or not yet, or not today. It's like they get discouraged. Do not get discouraged. You want to stay on top of your opportunities and follow up. Even an email, right? And what do you say in that email? Well, you want to approach it where it creates intrigue. It makes them remember you. So always remember that the follow up is critical for you to win additional business. All right. Now, the last topic is scaling. How can a one man scale? How are you going to have all these resources? Well, when you join the MSP Corner, now let me just share a little bit about the MSP Corner. We're building a platform that allows MSPs or IT service firms or VARs to join our platform so they get educated on how to sell value, how to market themselves, how to build a SOC, outsource the SOC, have resources in place, right? There's resources that allow, we will have resources uh, that will provide you with so many options for you to choose from. So if you need a marketing company, if you need a coaching service, if you need a scaling, if you need a firm to work with you on how to scale your business, they will all be at your fingertips. Tech stack, we will have tech stack information. We will have vendors. We will have webinars and videos on what tools are ideal for your organization. So that is what our plan is for the MSP Corner. So let's go to scaling. How are you going to scale? Well, when you work with a white label provider, they're going to provide you with several options for you to choose from. Right? You can have a 24/7 help desk. So they'll answer the phone as your organization, respond to emails with your domain, set up SMS, set up online chat. So your clients receive tech support when they need it. They will also offer you a 24/7 SOC. And if you're a break fix IT firm, well, then let's transition you to the MSP model, the proactive model, the value added model. And then you have these resources that also provide you project support. So if you lack a skill set for migrating accounts to the cloud, building server infrastructures in the cloud in AWS, Azure, they will have these resources available to you. You don't have to hire full-time IT people. You don't have to hire part-time contractors, and then you run the risk of losing them because they need to put food on our table. So they might be looking for a full-time job while they work for you part-time. So you got to think about which partners you're going to put in place so you can scale on demand and you scale at your pace. You don't have to go all gangbuster and um, um, you know be 8 9 figure MSP overnight. No, this is you can scale at your pace. Now, Gregory, do you want to add anything? Because I hit on all my bullet points and I'm getting ready to wrap this thing up.
Yeah, yeah, lots of things.
Okay.
So you know that we've read every book probably made on selling, and at least I have. And what a lot of things you said, I'll tell you some of the downsides of what you're talking about. If you go to small organizations like nonprofits and groups, you're going to usually you're going to usually meet up with small orgs. You're not
Yep.
going to meet up with whales, like, right? Like, no, nobody who works at HP is going to go to a chamber of commerce meeting. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The buyer for Microsoft is not going to show up at a chamber of commerce meeting. So you just really need to lower your expectations, and which is realistic, right? Don't go in there thinking I'm going to land whales. I'm going to hit
Yeah.
medium sized, large sized corporations. You're talking about small one man shows who are looking to also do the same thing you are.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
in these nonprofits and small orgs and one on ones and meetup groups and networking groups, you're just never going to meet, maybe never even going to meet a 5+ office.
Yep. Yep.
So that's okay. But if you're looking for whales, don't go to those meetings because it's not, they're not there, and neither are the medium-sized companies. What are the medium-sized and the whales doing? The whales aren't looking for, because they've already got it. They've had it for years, right? That's why they're whales. They're old. They've had vendors for years. The only way you can get into those locations is by having a unique skill set that their prime, the people they usually go to, don't normally have, and then they may sub it out to you. But getting cracking into a whale is so hard. So don't make that an objective for yourself when you're starting out. I know a lot of people are like, I could work with Amazon and you know. So yeah, if you're looking for those whales and medium-sized firms, they're not you're gonna be hard pressed. If you're looking for something medium sized, what you should do, what you should really concentrate on doing, honestly, is doing a good job. If you do a good job at your as a tech support person, as a small, medium size IT firm, your word's going to get out. And if you do a good job and you get more than one customer, two customers, three customers, you need to start writing down everything you're doing
Yep.
and getting it ready for case studies.
Yep. Yep.
Because if you don't have that back end case study, if you can't say I've done that, been there, done that, then you're going to be super hard pressed, honestly, to get anywhere.
Yep.
So my advice to you is try to get your friends and families to refer you into some mediums and get some smalls, get a couple smalls, even if they're a pain, because the smalls are usually the most painful accounts. Get a couple smalls and do a good job, even if it requires that you bend over backwards for somebody. And those guys are going to refer you to their other smalls, and maybe you get a couple smalls. But if you have 4 or 5 smalls and you did Intune and Azure Active Directory deployment on a couple of them, then you're going to be looking good. If you did some Linux work, you're going to be looking better. So and you could support Macs on and on. So yeah, if you've got these quivers, arrows in your hat, you're going to do a lot better
Yep.
than just trying to go out and be sociable.
Yep. No, no, I agree. And setting that, you mentioning that setting that expectation is a great idea because you're right. Whales are not out there, but some of these nonprofits can get you hooked up with, executives that are also donating their time that will take notice of, you participating and you opening up some discussion with them and at least engaging. At least, hey, it won't hurt, right? You're going to do a good thing, and it just gives you more practice on engaging with people. So, but yeah, no, I agree with the Chamber of Commerce. Don't end partnership groups. I will admit though, when we first started out, I partnered up with a moving company, and they got us some whale opportunities, and it did, and their moves are obviously very profitable, so it went really well for us when we had that one mover. But yeah, can't you got to get creative when you're starting a business and you have a very very small budget for marketing. You got to get creative on what you're going to do to get your name out there, build your business. Not No one's going to be knocking on your door just because you have a website, right? There's millions of websites out there. Thousands of your competitors are Hundreds of your competitors are in your city, and they also have websites. And they probably have awesome, some of them will have awesome websites. Some of them are paying for PPC and SEO services. So they're going to get all that top traffic. So think about that.
Yeah, but if you don't do a good job, if you don't got a good tech, if you don't have good text, if you're not scalable, if you're not keeping track of it with your CRM, if you're not maintaining your infrastructure, if you're not backing up your data, I mean, if you're not doing thousands and thousands of things, it's so hard. It's like if you're not doing these things, you're gonna have a rough time of it. So you gotta just it's tough.
Well, I was talking to this one CEO today who is just inundated with emails and alerts and requests, and he's ready to give up the back end infrastructure. He knows that if we maintain it, if we patch it, he's going to have very little problems. And he wants to offload a portion of the infrastructure so he has less work to do. He's only a one man show. And he understands that if he can't keep his clients happy, he's going to lose them. So he's approached us to on the single point of contact side to maintain his client's infrastructure so he can focus on building his business, being the face for help desk support. So they're he's anxious to get something in place because he's just inundated with so many requests, and he's getting stressed. He says so.
Yeah,
But anyway,
if you're offloading your work to somebody else, you also have to be careful there because they have to do a good job. If they're not doing a good job, then you're
yep,
just gonna. We've had and we've had a customer who's been with us that loses accounts because they're not doing a great job of managing their accounts.
yep,
We're doing a great
yep,
job of providing technical support, but they're not managing their accounts, so their customers don't feel like they're getting the best value.
yep,
It's all
yep.
very complicated.
Yep. No, no, I agree. I agree. Customer service is so critical. It's critical. And I'm gonna tell you about this conversation I was listening to online, and you're gonna laugh because this is something that I know you would do. I know you would do it, and I would be the one pulling on your ear to not do it. And then after I heard this video, after he explained the scenario, I was like, okay, I guess Gregory's right. I am wrong. So this is how it went down.
How does that work?
Okay, so this is what happened. So this gentleman, he's explaining that he's a roofing company, right? And he's talking about customer service and how important it is. And he installed a roof on a client, and this client calls him 3 years later and says, "Hey, um, you installed my the roof here, but one of your guys damaged my garage door. I want my garage door. I need you to replace it, right?" And the guy's like, he took pictures of it. He sent them to the CEO, and the CEO's looking at it, and it's a gash, and it's probably about a quarter inch long, and it looks like it would have occurred with a one of those cutters or whatever. So he was looking at it and he's just thinking, this guy is trying to get one by me. He was not happy. He was everybody in the office could tell he was unhappy. He was cursing, and he just wanted to tell this client off. He was not going to give in. He was going to say, F you, fix it yourself. We were there 3 years ago. You should have brought it up then. But he decided not to. He decided, okay, I'm going to spend the $5,000 to replace the garage door and call it a day, because that's what firms with awesome customer service do, right? So what happens? What do you think happens after that? He installs a door, shakes hands with the homeowner, and says, "Hey, sorry this happened. We're glad we got this all worked out. $5,000 out the door. Boom." What do you think happened in the
Got a good
next seven?
referral. He got a good referral.
He got 10 referrals
Sure.
and a Google review that just you know gave a glowing review on what awesome customer service they have, right? So it goes to show you how far customer service will go. People will be happy to refer you into other business because they trust you, they know you do a good job, you're accountable, and you have awesome customer service. So that's so important. And people forget about this. Apple is notorious for how amazing their customer service is. And I can point to so many Reddit ads of how sucky Ninja RMM customer services, Kaseya, whoever, all these other firms in the tech industry, their customer service has just fallen to the wayside. And it's like, people need to understand that, or CEOs or these presidents of organizations need to understand that customer service needs to be at the top of their list. They want to keep their customers and get additional business. Is you got to have and keep your business. Boy, you got to give excellent customer service. So
Well, customer service is a tricky thing, though. We've seen it all. I mean, we've been around too long. We've seen it all.
yeah,
We've seen people who have large, like for instance, I'll name somebody. I'll name a company, Datto. Datto has one person on their weekend shift providing support for backups. And I don't even know if that person was answering. There was a queue with 13 people in it. I waited 6 hours in that queue, and finally, when that person came on, they hung up on me. So then I had
Oh,
to go back to the end of the queue again.
oh,
It was super horrible, and I hated it. But I mean, where else? Sometimes, like with Apple, for instance, and with Datto and some of these other things, you're stuck, right? Because you've made the decision to go with them, and they know this, and then they give you bad customer service because they know that you really have very few options other than to deal with them. So giving great customer service for these large corporations like Verizon, AT&T, Microsoft, it doesn't matter to them. Their customer service is so not an issue because like I said, what are you going to do? You're going to throw Microsoft out the window
yeah,
and start using Linux or Mac? You could, but is it going to tear your life up doing it? Yeah. But then the flip side of that coin is we as a small organization could never get away with the things that those guys pull,
yeah,
hanging up on people,
yeah,
telling people to reboot their computer over a chat line and then hanging up.
yeah,
And I mean, I've called Lenovo. I've called into Lenovo support and asked to speak to a manager, and I've been told to go f myself and been hung up on. Because what am I going to do? I don't have a ticket number. I don't have the name of the person is obscure. They don't even say their name. They say their number. Their number's not traceable to them. If you ever have tried to do that, call a company up and ask to talk to somebody by their number or report them by their number, or ask for their number manager. Like someone will go, "This is Stacy. My employee number is 45392." And you're like, "Oh, cool. I've got her employee number." Guess what? Those don't mean anything.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
just a sham. It's all a big sham of support. But if you
Interesting.
can provide good tech support where it counts, when it counts, then you're gonna win.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And these small firms, they need to keep that in mind because you're right. We're not the Apples of the world. We're not the Verizons who are, they have what we call disposable clients, right? They're just like, who cares? We'll get more client. We're gonna have more clients next week.
Yeah. Or
We
they'll
can
have
cover
less
this
clients
loss.
next week, or less,
Yeah,
or more, or less,
yeah,
or they'll have a 500, or they'll have a negative 250. It doesn't really matter to them. I mean, what do they care? If they
yeah,
lose 1,000
yeah,
customers, they'll be like, yeah, whatever.
yeah,
The
yeah,
marketing guys will make up for it on the other side, right?
yeah,
They'll get us more customers. They'll grow us more, customers, blah blah blah. And you're like, wow, that must be a great place to be from.
yeah. You're right. You're right. It is. It's nice to have, an endless amount of leads calling in to say, "Hey, we need you." Right? It's like, oh man, to be in that position. But hey, we've selected our lot in life. We got to deal with it. So
Yeah, it's tough.
it is. It is. All right. Oh well. You know, I've hit my bullet points. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, I'm good.
All right. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. We're gonna wrap this up, and if don't forget to sign up to be a member on the mspcorner.com. Please share our link with a CEO who will find our information beneficial to their business. All right, guys. Thanks again for listening. Have a good night. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to sign up to be a member on www.mspcorner.com. Please share our link with a CEO who will find our information beneficial to their business. Have an awesome day.